Okay. What is the scope of the conversation? I suppose that does have me a little nervous because I don't
You
know
don't
what we're
know?
talking about.
Well, thanks for being here. We're
Yeah.
starting
Oh,
now.
we're going.
We
Okay.
officially started,
Okay.
but we could cut out whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, the scope of the conversation is you and your music
okay.
and Russian Blue.
Yeah.
But as far as I gathered, like the core of Russian Blue is you and then Justino.
Yeah. I mean, I think depending on
Pull up my notes.
depending on era, Zara's been
Right.
pretty influential as well. And then we kind of went through a transition period when we first started getting into the synth stuff.
Uh-huh.
And then I think it became a little bit more me on an island for a time.
Okay.
And Zara took a break from the band for a little bit, and Patrick came in, and we became collaborators on several projects. We own a studio together.
Okay, that's
Um,
that guy.
yeah.
Nice.
So, but I think we got Bryce and Justice and Ian now, who are definitely, they're influential on like what the band is in reality, which is like what
Mm-hmm.
we care a lot about the live show. And I mean the records are exciting and I care about them a lot, and I think everybody does in the band. But we really want to be an excellent
Live
produced
show.
live show. So
Mm.
yeah.
How far off do you think you are from that, if at all?
I think if you had asked me like 2 months ago, I would have been like, we're close, but we're not quite there. I think we're actually like
Pretty
getting it.
there?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, even looking at us last May, we were still bringing, put the keyboard stand down, take one synth out of its case, put it down, another one, DI every single synth.
Yeah.
And now, like, we've got these crazy road cases. You plop them down and you lift the lid, and they're all
Oh,
pre-wired.
dope.
And yeah, we've been really, I think sometimes we forget that we have come a long way in that respect in a
Yeah.
relatively short amount of time. It feels like we've been doing it for a lot longer, but it's really been a year of playing the synth stuff
Really?
live.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah.
How would you define a really good live show?
Well, okay, so a really good live show, maybe there's still always work to do. Uh, you know, tight, obviously, play accurately and well, but making it like a connection with people where I don't know, even when I pay for a ticket to go see a show that I really want to see sometimes, I'm like, I could go to bed, go home.
Mm.
I think that is a pull that a lot of people have more and more. Um, and no one's getting any younger, right? So it's like, how do you make people want to be there? Like
Mm.
they're already there, and you already got them there, and that's cool because maybe they like your music. But like,
Yeah.
how do you make them forget that there's other stuff they could go do?
Yeah.
So like, yeah, just being like really making everybody feel like they're all in the same moment together. Yeah, and kind of everything else falls away. That's all my favorite concert experiences. It felt like that,
Yeah.
and I think that often has to do with you can do it theatrically
Mm-hmm.
or production wise. Which the production side of thing is where I really think we've hit our stride. But that I'm really proud of.
Jesus Christ.
But the I want to get better every time we can, forever and ever. Just keep learning about how to emotionally put on a good show and like have it feel really
Mm-hmm.
personal.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah. Yeah, that's how I would define the most important thing for me, besides doing the bare minimum as a performer to be accurate and play well, is just have that like moment in time where everybody's like really strongly emotionally connected.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But that's kind of nebulous and hard to. It changes every show. Like
Yeah. Well, just also because there's so much going on in your music. I would imagine
yeah,
it's never the same.
yeah. I mean, we're really affected by things like, is it light outside? You
Mm.
know what I mean? Like at our core, if we're playing at a nightclub and it's like we're super silhouetted, and that goes a long way, to
Yeah.
making it feel dramatic and
Yeah. Yeah.
impactful. But other times, it's just a bunch of nerds on stage in sunglasses and,
Yeah.
you know, not as effective. But yeah, and then we have all sorts of material and moods, and we have been working really hard to figure out flow
Mm-hmm.
because we haven't had like a one solid team of people like I said, for longer than a year. So this May is when we really started being like, how do we get a set list that flows consistently? What do we want to keep the same set to set? Where are our areas of wiggle room to mix it up that is fun and not, because for the first maybe 10 shows we did this summer so far, we would mix things up and we'd be like, okay, that really hurt it. And we need to keep song 4, 5, 6 the same, and they need to flow, and working on that recently. So I guess actually trying to make it not as it's different every time, because I think you can sometimes lose people, especially because we're playing a weird type of music and it's hard to be on a bill with other people. We're always like the standout.
Really?
Yeah, I think a lot of bookers have an impulse to be like, how do we find a goth synth band to put them with?
Yeah, they're trying to create a bill that makes sense. And
we should just play with cool indie bands. And we're the band with synths. And that's every time that happens, everyone in the audience seems way happier. The band seem happier, because it's not like every time we get on an all synth bill, it feels like it becomes this competition that we didn't ask for. Because then all the other bands are coming up like, well, you actually don't need that many synths. I just use one. I'm like, that's cool.
Yeah.
We like it. We like our stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we're craving like just play with cool musicians that make cool indie music, and we don't need to have everybody be a dance band on the bill.
So kind of jumping ahead a bit, but let's jump back.
Okay.
Who are you?
Oh yeah, I'm Colin.
You're Colin.
Colin Weaver, and I'm the singer-songwriter of Russian Blue. Sometimes the director of the visual stuff, but I guess my favorite part of what I do is own a recording studio and produce music, and that Russian Blue is kind of my main outlet to just do crazy production stuff.
Are you involved in any other bands, whether it's just producer or mixer or whatever?
Yeah, I have another band called the Edison Cabinet.
Okay.
That's more like post-punk stoner rock stuff. And we got 2 drummers, and there's 7 of us, and we all wear masks, and it's fun, but very different. And then I work pretty closely with a lot of bands. Notably, probably my bestie band friends would be like Combo Box from Portland. I've been doing I think all of their output. We're working on a 3rd EP together right now. Hot Stepmom would be another one. Wrapping up mixing a record with them. Worked a little bit with Buddy Wincoop recently, and that's been very fun. But there's so many bands that I try to not half-ass it. So like either me and a band click and then we work together for a long time really personally, or we have a session that doesn't really click, and then I don't want to just be like engineer at this point, because I think there's people who are better at doing just that.
Yeah. So you love being part of the creative process throughout the entire.
And of course that can change. It could just be like, really colorful recording techniques that are part of the creative process. But I like being a force of execution and not just utility.
Yeah.
I don't ever really like handing over something that's like neutral. Like here are your basic clean recordings that you can then go do something else with. Because I think getting exciting sounds on the way in, so like right when it hits your computer, they already sound stylized and mixed, I think is inspiring for me. Yeah. More than just like, that is a plain snare. I can add reverb to it, distort it, or whatever.
Yeah. So like being creative and playful before it hits the box.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, Patrick and I have designed a studio at this point that is, not like we have the fanciest stuff all the time, but we have a pretty good selection of analog front end and a lot of colorful equipment that's either kind of like half broken or really old or rare. And yeah, we're very, very, very adamant about getting sounds on the way. I don't really like mixing to make something sound good. I like mixing in terms of like taking exciting, cool pieces and puzzle piecing them together. And it's more about getting pieces to sit well together rather than like polishing raw,
Mm-hmm.
uninspiring sounds,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
which I think is a huge part of the Russian Blue record that we just put out in January. It's like there's like so little plugins on any of that stuff.
Wow, really?
It's mostly like it's 300 plus tracks on most of those songs, but with like maybe an EQ.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um,
Yeah, you're just carving out space.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, most of the reverbs were done out of the box. Even when I have to like draw in automation and do weird stuff, I try and actually like use a fader and
Mm.
have it be a little more performative.
Mm-hmm. It's the same for your vocals?
Yeah, I do a lot of vocal processing
Wow,
on the
really?
way in. I mean, I do it with the live show too, like a simplified version. I've got a line 6 DL4 and a Boss RE202, which is like
Mm-hmm.
a space echo.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the Boss's most souped up version. So it's pretty much a like knob per knob space echo in a tinier box. And there's so much like ramping and oscillation and looping and pitch shifting and things that I'm doing in real time. Actually, that does change night to night a lot. There's a lot of, and I think that's true with everybody. There's a lot of real time effect manipulation that changes the songs. And sometimes it's way more psychedelic and sometimes it's way more aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we hit a night where every single delay is like super in the pocket and it becomes kind of funkier.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's bit me in the butt a couple times recording so many effects in on the vocal because I can't like pitch correct it
Mm-hmm.
or retime it if it's
Mm-hmm.
got a bunch of delay and
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So sometimes just do a lot of takes.
Yeah. Do you feel like I feel like part of the uniqueness of your vocals is that they're not perfect.
Yeah. And sometimes that's makes me very happy and sometimes I can't listen to it ever again. But you
Really?
know, yeah.
Is there a song off the latest album that you're like, I just can't listen to that?
Politeness,
Wow.
the closing track.
Oh, okay. Is that a vocal take or because it sounds pretty personal?
I think both. That song is um rough.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely like the heaviest song on the record.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also like I can hear I know what I sound like, so underneath of the effect, I remember getting that take and having to sing like so quietly to do it. I was singing like this loud
Wow,
to get
really?
really on the mic and it took me hundreds of takes to get to sing with no air like that and get it on pitch. And to make it almost sound like it's auto-tuned a little bit. Originally we were thinking about doing like a vocoder or something like that on that song, or have it like really aggressively stylistically auto-tuned, but we didn't end up going that direction. But Zara and I are actually working on that one, and she was pretty strongly advising like you should still try and get that character because it's a cool juxtaposition with how personal,
Yeah.
kind of naked it is. That it is sounds almost processed, but like hyper processed, but it isn't. And
Something's going on because it's panning from left
yeah,
to
we got
right.
a tremolo.
Okay.
That's
That's the only thing on
yeah.
it? Oh, okay.
I think maybe I was like going through a compressor and had a little bit of delay on,
Gotcha.
but yeah, there's no
No, they're like
nothing in the
vocal
box.
processing.
I got a tremolo pedal and just did it, which is a pain in the ass to like gain stage a phantom power mic through a console, through a compressor, and then into a guitar pedal. But yeah, but yeah, I also the vocal take. I think part of it's the experience of doing it. Part of listening back, I just feel like it's squeaky and I don't like it. But I like it. But I
I
don't
mean,
love
it's relevant to the
it.
end
Yeah,
word, right?
I think that it's hard because I think that we made the right choice for the song, but still hearing myself in
Yeah,
that
it's
way
tough.
is uncomfortable.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
fair.
But I feel we've done a lot of music before this album. Most of it's not up anymore. This is Modern Analog is album 5. And most of those I just despise, which is why a lot of them are gone, but I couldn't handle.
I think I read in an article that you were in for the 4th album that like you're not embarrassed, but you don't want to show people previous music because you're like, oh, the new stuff's better. So just wait for the new stuff. Don't listen to the old stuff.
Well, that's part of it. When we started when I was 14.
How old are you now?
I'm 25.
Okay.
So
still very young.
It's weird that we're on year 11 and Justina's 26 and I'm 25. And
Hypothetically, this is the year you blow up.
maybe. I hope it's the year, and it has been so far, that we get to do fun things. It's been a very validating year so far in terms of like getting to perform in places we dreamed of, and
Hmm.
um, getting involved with KEXP in various ways has been really cool. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Um, I want to jump into your album, but I want
yeah,
to touch on some other stuff first. So, you described yourself as a synthetic post-punk band,
yeah,
which I'm assuming means um, you just have a lot of synths.
yeah. We might be changing that descriptor soon because we had a couple people be like, but synthetic means like fake,
Yeah,
and especially with AI stuff
that's
going on
yeah.
now more and more. I've just received that feedback in the last like month or so. We've had the label for almost 2 years now, that descriptor. But we might change to something else. I just don't want to do the dance punk thing
Why?
because it's LCD. We already get compared to LCD so much,
Really?
which is valid. I
Is
get
it?
it. We love LCD,
Hmm.
but it's hard because there just isn't that many bands in the space to compare to because we're not like M83 or
I
like
love that
MGMT
MD3. Yeah,
really,
yeah, yeah,
and we are in the LCD hot chip territory a bit more, and we're not shying away from the fact that we are inspired by them,
yeah.
but it's like it's hard because I feel
But
like we're in a Greta Van Fleet situation in some people's mind where it's like you're just Led Zeppelin, man. What are you doing?
hmm,
um,
is it? I mean, I haven't listened to LCD extensively. Is
mhm.
it pretty close, or is it just that you're new and you sound like them?
I think that there's just so few bands in that category
Yeah.
of like indie sleaze New York with actual like full on electronic dance music.
Hmm.
And then
Hmm.
a whole slew of like on the nose callbacks to 70s and 80s like iconic post punk and electronic music, and like almost like needle drops,
Hmm.
like almost sampling other songs.
Hmm.
LCD does that all the time, where you
Hmm.
can go through and like say that is literally a Kraftwerk song that you
Yeah,
just
it's like an
lifted.
interpolation.
Yeah, it's sometimes very blatant. And we are not on that level, but we do certain things to nod
Hmm.
at things like Brian Eno records or David Bowie, Warcraft work, and sometimes LCD. Um, so I definitely I know why people make the comparison, and I don't think it's unfair. And we're not trying to like shy away from that necessarily. But I do think that it's like we can't do any disco ball iconography.
Hmm.
That's their logo
Yeah,
is a disco ball. And
yeah.
calling ourselves dance punk makes me a little uncomfortable because they're like the dance punk. They like
Really?
were that band.
Okay.
So it's
Man, I should listen to more of them.
maybe not. Maybe you would like our record less. Maybe you'd be like, this just sounds like
You know
LCD.
what's funny is that like,
I don't know.
let's put a pin in that. Let's
Okay.
come back to that. Yeah. Um, you kind of answered my other question, but who else would be your artistic ancestors? If you have LCD.
Yeah.
I have a giant list from interviews, but I just want to get your list right now.
Well, I think where we're at right now, modern analog, like I had said earlier, it's like there was a little bit of disconnect between Zara Justino and myself because I was really diving very quickly, changing from the like Interpol Strokes, maybe Spoon thing that we were into, even
Hmm.
like Radiohead, kind of some mathy stuff.
Hmm.
That's where we thought we were going to be going with guitar. We were a guitar 4 piece at the time.
Hmm.
And then I got kind of isolated and dove into the synth thing. And
Hmm.
at first they were like, oh, this is fun. But both of them, through the course of me diving into modern analog, were like, dude, even as they're like contributing to the record, are like, I don't know about this. So at that crossroads, I was really into LCDs, really into the magnetic fields.
Hmm.
Um, Definitely listened to like James Blake
Hmm.
a
Hmm.
lot.
Hmm.
But now more so where Patrick and I did a lot of the work on our record that will be coming out early next year that we just started rolling out singles for.
Okay.
Listening to a lot of even more James Blake, like Imogen Heap,
Hmm.
TV on the radio,
Hmm. Hmm.
still more LCD. Uh, oh, there's another band I wanted to say. Now I'm so sad. What was the band? Oh, I mean like Aphex Twin.
Hmm.
Um, that has been a favorite recently, in particular. But also some of the like pop production influences of like Jack Antonoff stuff.
Yeah.
Um, and Bleachers, the most recent 1975 record, I think we found pretty inspiring on the production end. Um, yeah, yeah, that would be
Okay.
my
I mean,
list.
a wide variety.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it feels like we're like Patrick and I have this similar go, which I'm gonna mention him a lot because we have been very close production partners for the better part of 3 years now.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but we're very interested in, even if it's kind of unspoken, like really finding tight slices of inspiration from different things. And at this point, it almost feels like listening to music to find those things.
Mm-hmm.
I'd
Mm-hmm.
love to get back to a point, and sometimes some songs still do, where I could just like listen and just be like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
this is fun. I like
Mm-hmm.
music. But it almost feels like we're on a constant like treasure hunt discovery phase in the last couple of years.
To discover like new techniques, new sounds, new.
Yeah, I mean, it could just be like the sound of a vowel that a singer does, or it could be a production technique, or it could be a chord progression,
Mm-hmm.
or just Frankensteining together a bunch of inspirations to then take to the studio.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I think I answered the question.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. Um, and have you been an engineer that same amount of time?
I started first dipping my toe in and like interning and learning about live sound and studio stuff when I was like 12, 13.
Oh, super young.
And then, yeah, I've recorded everything we have done. Excuse me, first record we did when we were 14 was on like a Zoom R16 portable
Nice.
recorder, and I didn't even have a computer to put it in. Next one, we did that and then put it into GarageBand. Third one, I think it was maybe I had some better mics, recorded directly into GarageBand. We're like, got an interface for the first time. And then after that, we went to, for the fourth record, stretched out even more, and we were recording at I can't remember what it's called. Um, it's one of the studios connected to Western in Bellingham. I can't remember what it's called. It's something Street.
Okay.
Anyway, so that was like my first time with the band, actually like engineering with a guy named Hunter there, who's been a friend for a while, and we were figuring out how to use a console and all that stuff. And then more recently, I started my studio in 2019, and that was just like a home studio thing. And then over the last, however many years that's been, uh, it became like the whole bottom floor of my house. And then we moved out, and it became the top floor is the live room, and then that became my actual full-time job. And yeah, the band and my studio workload, career, whatever, have been very like interlinked. Um, and I mean, I got into it specifically to record my band, and turned into just like I poured enough time into it that it sounded like a fun job.
Yeah. And is there enough? It sounds like there's enough artists on in Bremerton, or do people like come in
People come. I
specifically?
mean, I
Okay.
record mostly people from Portland at this point.
Oh wow.
Um,
Because they know you, or because they're trying to get away, or they know the studio.
I th- I I think they know me, and they want to get away.
Okay.
And my price is good.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
There's and there's definitely, I've recorded a lot of the Bremerton local people, but yeah, it's mostly people. I've had people from Canada, I've had people from California, I've had Seattle folks, um, and I've come out here, did a handful of sessions at Avast in Ballard, and I've really loved that place. Recently started loving to work at the Unknown in Anacortes. It's like this big church. It's incredible. It's like a museum of music equipment, which is my favorite type of studio, because there's so many state-of-the-art places where you go in and there's like no instruments. It's all just fancy compressors.
Yeah.
And I don't want to get lost in that world. What I'd prefer is enough good recording equipment to get the job done, huge mic locker,
Yeah.
and just organs and keyboards and drum kits and guitars everywhere.
Yeah.
That's which is the Unknown. It's incredible. It's
Mm.
almost like a hoarder. But it's good. It's in a good way.
Yeah.
It's kind of how the upstairs of our studio feels at the moment too.
Right.
So maybe it felt like home.
Wow, it sounds cool.
That's where we're going for a couple, almost 3 weeks in November
Okay.
to record the next album. We got to keep it up.
Do you feel pressure? Well,
A
okay,
little.
we'll come
Yeah.
back to
Okay.
that. Let's
Okay.
come back to that. I'm like
Sorry.
jumping the gun.
I go.
Yeah, I'm jumping
I'm
the
sorry,
gun.
dude.
I haven't even like, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Complimented you for 10 minutes yet.
We don't need to get to that part.
Oh, we will. We
Well,
will. Yeah, sorry. Sorry, there's some people I'm just like, I just have to. Um, yeah, I guess, how'd you get into music so early? Were your parents into it or like an uncle or friend or?
So yeah, my dad was in bands, um, and he really liked kind of like the experimental sound effect
Okay.
side of music, as well as he's a rad bass player. And his friends and bandmates were really informative in that. Um, his bestie Nathan Smurthwaite was like my first um, the first time I saw a recording happen, and I had heard all about him being one of the engineers who was running Uptone in Tacoma, I think in the early 2000s, late 90s, and that was really inspiring to me. Specifically, their band, The Marrying Type. There was an unreleased second album that they had in like 2009 that was on my iPod because they had the burned CD, and I listened. That is my most listened to album of all time. It's just that.
Wow.
It's like indie folk stuff.
Hmm.
Love it. Another one of my dad's good friends was Chris Olson, who played in a band from New York called Chapo. And my first ever concert, I can't remember how old I was, 12, 11, maybe even 10. They played at the Crocodile on tour. And
Cool.
I remember seeing it, and that like really uh, just like sticking with me, that like that was one of the most beautiful things I'd ever seen. And not even because their show was particularly like beautiful, so to speak, but it was just like, this is crazy. There's like people dancing, and it's bright and it's loud, and it's wow, this is like a bubble.
Yeah, I
You
want to
know?
do this.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
amazing. And then, I started piano when I was really young, um, doing classical training. I never got very good at that part. I think I pushed back really hard against my teacher. Marcia was wonderful, but I was maybe not. But because of that, then when I was like 13, 14, and I decided I wanted to write songs or play music, um, piano really helped. Because then you could pick up drums, you could pick up bass, you could pick up guitar. And then I also was in theater from when I think I started when I was like 8.
Wow.
So did a lot of dramatic stuff through high school and college. And when I got about that same age, 13, 14, started doing more musical theater. And that has been very helpful.
Oh, I bet.
Because I am super loud, which is, I've yet to receive any complaints from front of house engineers about my vocals. And I think once I got feedback from a monitor, because I am just like the loudest belty singer that I have worked with. Like, in the studio and mixing in front of house, I work with a lot of singers, and there's some pretty loud folks out there, but I'm not better, but I'm louder. Shout real loud. So yeah, kind of all those things mixed together. The starting when I was really young doing piano, and then both my mom and my dad are very eclectic music listeners. We had a pretty sizable vinyl collection, pretty sizable CD collection, and they were very rigid about music in a helpful way, like an educational way. Like we were always listening to music all the time, and my dad and mom were very quick to like give me the entire backstory on the artist we were listening to. My mom, I think about like Fugazi and Neil Young and Pedro the Lion and David Bazan and I want to shout him out. He's the best. I can't remember his name now. Damien Jurado, and the Magnetic Fields. And then my dad was more like he showed me my favorite hardcore band, Refused, and a whole bunch of like the Smiths and the Cure and a lot of that like 80s Jesus and Mary Chain, and then the Brian Eno and the David Bowie and the Kraftwerk and all that stuff. So I think that actually might be the most. That was really what gave me the bug for music, was like the deep dive into the stories behind all of these albums,
Yeah.
and listening to music exclusively as albums until I was probably 14, 15. Like, just always, you listen to the entire record, you listen to the entire CD.
Mm-hmm.
The concept of like a playlist of songs was very
It's foreign.
novel.
Yeah.
Definitely a late bloomer on that one. Everybody else had a playlist long before that.
Yeah.
So,
Are you an album person now?
oh yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Do you have any favorite albums this year?
That came out this year, or that I've been listening to this year?
Came out this year.
Came out, I think, yesterday or 2 days ago. The new Charlie XCX album, I've been really,
Okay.
really into. I was surprised. I mean, I like her stuff enough before that, but it's firmly pop music with a capital P, which usually isn't what I'm consuming a ton of. But I like it. I like
Okay.
the on the nose stuff. I need to check out the new Strokes album, because I have felt maybe in the minority in my friend group that I was very interested in what they were doing on this record. I think the auto tune was divisive, but it's an interesting swing.
Yeah.
I haven't listened to a ton of records this year. I wish I could check my phone, but it's over there. I'm not gonna get it up.
It's fine.
Um,
No worries. I'm just curious.
Yeah, I haven't listened to a ton. There's a lot of new records rolling out. Like, there's going to be a new Spoon record, I think. I think there's a new Interpol record that maybe just came out, or is about to come out, that I want to check out. Listen to the Telehealth album that came out.
Okay.
That's inspiring to me because it's cool to see somebody in our area doing things that, like, they have a lot of synthesizers and post-punk influence, but I feel like if we played a bill with them, it would not be just same. They're like a very different flavor. So I thought that was really cool that there was like local peers doing something like that, and that type of record on Sub Pop's pretty cool.
Telehealth. Okay, I'll have to check them out.
They're fun. They just did a KEXP session not too long ago too.
Nice.
Kind of got connected to them through Buddy Wincoop.
Okay.
Yeah. I wish I had more albums. I feel
fine.
like a poser.
Nah,
I should have more stored up here.
Nah, you're good. You're good. Where do I want to go? We'll just go here. One thing I noticed about your music, especially this last album, but if I remember correctly, just the two that are on streaming, they're both very much like this. The lyrics don't really rhyme. It's kind of like a stream of consciousness in a way.
Well, I have gotten in arguments with bandmates about this in the past, because I try and be really deliberate about when I do rhyme, because I want it to be almost like a punctuation or an exclamation point, like really impactful.
Yeah. I can see that.
Same with like repeated phrases. I mean, because I feel like they're so, and this is not like a problem in other stuff, but for me, where like lyrics are the main driving force of why I want to make music, it's like that's a tool I feel like maybe can be underutilized sometimes. Like choosing comfortable songwriting conditions that people are used to, using those, if you remove them, using them as a way to like underline something or capitalize it, I think is fun.
Yeah, I'm a huge lyrics person.
Yeah.
Like it's the reason I listen to music. And then the very close second is the dynamics and the sonics and what have you. And I did not miss the rhyming. Like, what I mean by that is I really enjoyed your storytelling.
Thanks.
Even though, the like, not purist, but the songwriter in my head is like, well, he's not rhyming. Like, what's he even saying? And the third time through, when I had the lyrics up and I'm listening, I was like, okay, wow, there's actually a lot going on here. Well, in a positive way.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, I think that there's still like you still got to be careful to have prose and like have flow of how the words sound. Like, you still have to, and it's a weird, I don't even know how I would like it. If somebody was be like, well, how do you choose that? How do you pick the words like that? I don't even know if I'd have like a process for it, but there's a feeling of like, do the words still marry and work, even though we're not using rhyming to do that?
You get, I mean, I get that sense from your music that a lot of it is, it's almost like, it feels like you're all in a big jam session, but you know exactly where the song is going. And it's, there's just so much going on, but you know it's all intentional because it's all being felt.
Mhm.
It's almost like ethereal maybe, or um not even serendipitous. And I don't want to say like heavenly because that's not the word I'm looking for, but there is like this aspect of organized chaos,
Mhm.
maybe another way to phrase it. Just like there's this juxtaposition between like, whoa, what the fuck is going on, and they know exactly what they're doing,
Mhm. Well,
which is
that's
cool.
really cool. I'm glad that it comes off that way.
Is that accurate or no?
I definitely I strive as much as I can to have songs feel like they are just happening.
100%.
You know, like they're, because I'm really interested, and I guess I kind of romanticize this idea of like the moment where you feel nostalgia, or the
Mm,
moment where you have a question in your mind, and for 3 minutes you sit there staring at a wall thinking about the answer to that question, and after the 3 minutes or however long the song is, you actually you've moved from point A to point B in a thought experiment, or you have an epiphany, or you've learned something about yourself. And I mean, every song on Modern Analog is very much coming from that place for me, where it's, I had a lot of questions.
yeah.
Um, because in some ways I feel like I'm a baby and I don't know anything, and in other ways I feel like I've had to kind of brush past things in order to appear more mature or more
Mm,
on top of things. And so I just have a ton of questions all the time, and I thought that for this record it would be really interesting to kind of make the songs feel like the subject matter and feel like the
mm,
lyrics, you know, where they just kind of unfold.
yeah.
Which is why I think there's also like not a lot of, there's some, but there's not a lot of like chorus verse stuff. It just kind of
Is there any?
happens. Uh, ish. I think Backbeat has a repeating instrumental section,
Yeah.
and Hands kind of has like a
Yeah.
chorus motif,
Yeah. Yeah.
but it's not the same.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. I mean, that
yeah.
was the other thing. I'm just gonna, again, I'm a fanboy once we start talking about this, but um, I was like, there's there's like no structure in these songs,
Yeah.
and I didn't hate it. Like I was like, I love how these are like evolving, and I think part of that too is it all feels intentional. It all feels like we're not here to make a typical pop song. We're here to
Mm,
tell you a story through not only lyrics but sonics
mm,
and feeling and experience. And the way we're going to do that is by evolving these songs in such a way where you don't know where it's going to go. So
yeah.
you have to pay attention.
That is, I have received the feedback and also feel personally that that is also maybe the crux of the record, is that it's not like it's a little demanding at times. It's
Is it?
kind of like, well, you're not really going to like this unless you sit down and listen to this. Some
Some people feel that
aspects,
way.
you know, I really like it. I'm really proud of it, but I could totally understand how people are like, I've heard that, you know, because it is like it wants you to pay attention. And I paid a lot of attention to it when I was making it. It's definitely not. I wish it was, there was more of a hug sometimes, more of like a, will bring you into it instead of just like, this is what it is, like it or not,
Yeah.
deal with it, you know. But
Um,
I didn't realize we were doing it was that like strange in its structure until after. When we
yeah.
had the record done, I was like, oh, this
Yeah.
doesn't have any choruses.
Yeah.
What is happening? But I like the intention was there when we were making it anyway, but
Yeah.
like I didn't quite connect the dots of like how kind of off kilter some of the structures were
Mm,
until they were all assembled together.
yeah.
I was like, well, this could work, or
Yeah.
this backfired. I don't know. But I'm glad
Um,
you like it.
oh, I wouldn't change a fucking thing.
Well, thanks, man.
Yeah. And whoever says that it needs to be a hug, don't listen to them.
Well, okay.
don't.
I mean, you said
I
it.
mean, like,
I trust
I
you.
mean, I'm just a guy with the 2 cameras, but like, um, now there's places that personally I
Mhm.
would change,
Yeah.
but that's subjective. I
Yeah.
think everything's subjective.
Uh-huh.
I think it is a nearly flawless album.
That's sick, man. I'm glad you like it.
I think, yeah, and it sounds like you're very proud of it, and I think that is very warranted. And I don't think you should change or appease anyone that wants some sort of like
Yeah.
standard thing.
Yeah.
It stands on its own, and it's really fucking good.
Well, thanks, man. I mean, yeah, I've gone back and forth with how I feel about it over the course because it sat done for a long time.
Really?
I think I finished that in 2024.
Wow.
And it was just, I mean, there was like a couple mixing things to do.
I mean, your
But it
album
just sat
cycles
there.
seem pretty long.
Not anymore. We got
Ain't
another
that
one
shit
coming
out.
out like almost a year on the dot, and we will have another one at least halfway done by the time that record comes out, which will be like February,
Okay.
the next record. Um, and yeah, it's like I said, we're going in November to do the third. I think of it as the third album, but we've
Yeah.
done more, you know.
Right.
But like Modern Analog really does feel like the beginning of a new thing
Really?
for well, just
I'm
you know,
excited.
before we were a 4-piece rock band,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
now
Yeah.
now we're something Modern Analog. For a bit we were just a synth band, but now we're not. On the next record, that's not how it is either. It's like everybody has like weird ensemble stations where
Hmm.
everybody's a multi-instrumentalist, except for me. I don't do fucking anything. I just sing, which is not how it used to
And
be.
do you write all the lyrics?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Let's get into that in a second.
Okay.
But definitely one thing I want to touch on, just to get your perspective. I think the album really, it's really good, but the mixing could have fucked it all up.
Yeah.
So I'd love to learn a little bit more about how you thought about that, considering it sounds like you are the mixing engineer
Mhm.
making all those choices. Because the other thing I noticed is like, wow, this is mixed really well.
Well, thank you. It's I think partially I've done enough albums now to acknowledge that I got lucky a little bit with I could have really fucked it up. But I think speed was a huge part of it.
Okay.
Like from the moment that I was writing the song to recording the song to mixing the song, like Hands, for instance, that was like 36 hours.
Wow.
And then I didn't touch it for a really long time.
Oh wow.
It's just like I didn't really pour over. There was a very long period where I tried to then pour over the mix, but I had like the paralysis and couldn't change anything.
Yeah.
And so then I did a couple utility things and like cut out a little harshness and then just sent it to mastering after so long of like, well, I need to finish mixing it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like I was saying earlier, where you get the sound on the way in, and then it's just volume. It's just cleaning it up.
Yeah.
And I'm so much more concerned about like rhythm and like how things fit. Drums are really, really important.
I can tell.
Did a lot of work on the front end and drums of like recording a full kit, mixing that kit, summing the kit down to an audio file, putting it on, cassette tape or like 2-inch tape, and then distorting it, and then, playing that through like a record system and miking the speaker, and then chopping it up and retiming it. And there's a lot of really weird, intensive drum production, and then no thought on the rest of it at all. I'm so inspired by how drums make me feel that like they really pour over that part. And it was a lot of discovery too. Like I hadn't really had my hands on good synthesizers until we started making that album, and I couldn't find all the information, but I wanted to in the vinyl put a list of all the synths we used. It was so many.
You said it was like 40.
It was a lot. A lot of them I borrowed or had for a bit and then sold.
Yeah.
But I mean, off the top of my head, like one I can bring up. I'll go back to Hands because that was one of the last ones we did, so I remember. But we got like a Yamaha DX7. There's an MS-20. There's an MS-2000, which is also a microKORG. There's a sequential 6-track. There's a Prophet. There's an ARP Odyssey. There's the Moog DFAM. There's a Moog Grandmother.
All on one song.
Yeah, and
Wow.
there's, oftentimes it's layering. I think it kind of stems from I didn't really know how to use synths enough that there's a lot of very raw synth sounds, like just a unfiltered saw wave, one oscillator with a little release going into a space echo. I'm like, that's cool for this sound, but it needs more low end. So let's go to the Grandmother, just play the same thing. And then layer like 4 different synths to then make what I understand now would be more like a Prophet or an Oberheim or something, where you can like layer different oscillator patches. I just didn't really understand how to do it when we were starting. So there's a lot of that. That's why the track count is so high on a lot of these songs, where we're averaging 200-300 tracks on all of them, except for Patience and Politeness, that are way more stripped down. Another thing with the production, a lot of like sampling my own recordings, like chopping up things like 24 Rhododendrons and Lead were all played on a cello, and I don't know how to play cello. So I had to like do one pluck at a time, and then like get one good note, and then like figure out how to pitch bend it, and then like so many takes for Lead of trying to get those things. And I don't know how I can do it.
It turned out great.
I am so, because I like did it and then went to bed. I like stayed up, like didn't eat all day, and like stayed up really late, and then went to bed and was like, it's horrible. And then woke up and I was like, who recorded all the strings on this? I was like, this is great. Very serendipitous. There was a lot of just like throwing things at the wall, seeing what sticks. A lot of cut songs. I think I wrote probably upwards of 120 songs.
Wow.
And chopped them down. I was trying to do a song a day for a really long time. Or at least a song started and then seen to fruition. So like I said, Hands, I stayed up for a couple days, like forgot to eat and just like did it. Same thing with Lead, was a couple days. So I kind of did that with a lot of songs, and a lot of them sucked. Just editing, which Patrick has been even more influential in this way for me. I think this is, the genesis of why we became good collaborators and friends, is kill your babies. Just like viciously cut. Which is why it's getting better now, but it was a little hard to collaborate for Modern Analog, because people would have an idea, and because I was having so many ideas, and they would come in and put one idea on the song. If I didn't like it, I'm like, that's not good. People would be very hurt by that. But that's just how you roll, especially like when I'm producing other bands too. do not sugarcoat anything. It's like that vocal take was bad. Let's do it again.
I mean, it's in service of the song, not your ego.
And I think that, we got into some discussions about this where it's like, I did most of it. So like, is it in service of my ego? But I'm mean to myself. You know what I mean? Like,
you're your biggest critic. So
really
I would imagine ultimately it is, because you're trying to service the song so people love it. So then it feeds your ego. But like in the process, hopefully you're not thinking about that. It sounds like you're thinking about,
is this part work? No. Does this part work? No. Does this part work? Yeah. Just go. Everything needs to be fast. Again, so to go back to your question about the mixing, that's in the engineering, it's like, get the sound on the way in. If you like it, then you're gonna like it forever. In how it sounds. I don't have that. I've heard some engineers be like, oh, my mix sounds great, and they come back the next day and they hate it. I've never had that. I feel the opposite way. Like, if I'm on the fence about it, sleep it off. And I'm either still on the fence or it's awesome. I've never been like over the moon about something and then hated it later. And I think it's just because, I don't know, like I think that anybody who's a songwriter or a producer have different strengths. Like I've worked with some people who are the best engineers on the planet, and they can make any room sound incredible and like find what is unique about the acoustics of a space. Or songwriters or songwriting producers who have incredible sense of harmony, or can get like the best vocal recording you've ever heard. Some people work really well with their performers and their artists. I think my strength, and Patrick's similarly, is just instinct on if this is a fruitful train of thought that we're going down, or if we need to move on.
Yeah.
Just like a good taste for hunches.
Yeah.
And I think that made mixing it really easy later on, because it was just like, does this work? Yes. And then it always did. Made it really, really easy to mix the record when all the sounds were good on the way in and complementary on the way in, and built one piece at a time. So it's like you have no song, and then you have your couple synth lines, and you're like, what does it need? Added what it needs, and then stop when you're like, okay, that sounds good. Just kind of a convoluted way to mix an album a little bit, because you just keep adding and adding and adding, instead of, I guess, like just boosting 100 hertz by 2 dB. Just add enough layers that there's a buildup of 100 hertz.
Well, it provides a different texture.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I almost feel like I've lost that curiosity with synths a little bit on the next record, and I miss it. I miss trying to figure out how it works.
Yeah.
And being surprised.
The process of it all.
Because we own so many synths now, and then after I was showing my friends modern analog early on, then I became the guy in the area where it's like, oh, he's got synths. So then suddenly people are like, whip me up a Stranger Things tone. And I'm like, how do I do that?
Yeah.
So by the time we got to this record that's coming out in February, it's like, I know my equipment now.
Yeah. I did want to say, one thing I noticed is, which I'm really, really glad you did, is you already referenced it, but you cut a lot. And I love an album that makes a statement and then leaves. And I think, what was the previous album?
Downpour, Perpetual.
It seems like maybe you were still trying to figure that process out.
100%.
Of like, they're good songs, was like, could the album have had more impact if it was 10 instead of 14?
100%. I mean, there was a time, and that was still at the end of high school, where we were just like, we just want it to be as long as possible. Like, a lot of our influences at the time were just like making double albums. And like,
it was a different time.
3-hour records, and we were like, oh, that's being prolific is the same as being effective. I think it was a foolish correlation to be like, quantity equals quality. I mean, if it was up to me, that album wouldn't be up either. But
really,
I
could see that.
I just even knew when we put it out, I wasn't 100% happy with it.
Take it down.
You know, but a lot of people like a couple of those songs.
Have them buy it.
Yeah, you can pay for it.
It's your artistry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Or like make it an EP of the ones people liked, and boom, done. Yeah, it's not like I hate it, but I could see how, I feel like I'm just going to inflate your ego. I could see how when you have this, new sound, new direction, and higher quality, well-executed album, like,
it felt like the first one we did, right? And like, I felt that way when we put it out. I was like, okay, this is the actual first effective endeavor. Like, I don't feel like I'm learning still as an artist and as a producer in many, many ways, but it didn't feel like a student assignment. It didn't feel like a learning activity. It felt like okay, this is a piece. This is how I want to present a piece of art, and I feel like I delivered on what I wanted to do. You know?
Yeah, on the way over here, I was like, if I made this album, no one could ever tell me anything ever again.
I don't know. I don't feel like that. I
didn't say you felt like that. I would feel like that.
Well,
like, you can't tell me anything.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's a blessing and a curse to be like, I feel like there was a really unique way the album was made that feels very personal to me. But I feel like it also revealed, as I meet more producers and engineers, how stuck I am in that method. And I want to learn so much more about how to, like, there's other albums I listen to, I'm like, I would have no idea how to achieve that.
Yeah.
And that's stupid. I want to know exactly how to achieve it. So that's the mission I'm on, in terms of like modern analog school, and I'm really proud of it, but I'd love to be able to make a record that sounds like something else entirely. and I wish I had more tools.
Interesting.
You know,
Interesting.
yeah.
Damn. We'll have to add that to the list of questions, maybe. Um, what's the album about?
Modern analog.
I have my guesses.
It's well, I want to hear your guesses.
Every time I say that, they want to hear. What's my guess? I mean, to me, it sounds like the story that I created in my mind was that you, it sounds like there's a lot of family trauma, and you have been ostracized for one reason or another. But in some of the songs, not all the songs, but there is this through line of you saying like, "Well, what about y'all? Like you're throwing stones at me,
Mhm.
and yet you don't reflect on your own selves." And there's, especially like Look at Us Dancing, it
Yeah,
feels like it's a story about some sort of situation that happened. I have my own perspective on what that could
yeah,
be, but where you're kind of calling out the person that maybe is calling you out and being like,
hmm,
look at yourself first.
yeah,
Um, and then obviously the final song kind of sealing the deal on that a little
yeah,
bit.
yeah.
How far off am I?
I don't think you're far off at all. It's tricky. Firstly, the overarching broad theme of the record for me, and it's in the title as well, as it's like where I am now in my modern, today is modern to me. Analog as in a comparison, not as in like the
Yeah.
tech.
Uh-huh.
Um, which it's funny the amount of people who are like, I like that you called it analog because of all the analog synths.
Mm,
And I was like, yeah, that's what it means. But you know, the comparison between who I was then and who I am now is like the main over. There's so many questions, and yes, some songs do touch on family, which has been a big 2 Dozen Rhododendrons in particular,
mhm.
and Look at Us Dancing are the two like really family based songs. Um, it's just, yeah, just making sense of like, well, I get more and more perspective on who my parents are and who my friends' parents are and
Mhm.
other adults who are in my life as I get older. And it,
Mhm.
um, yeah, definitely what you were saying about like a finger pointed without the acceptance of one coming back.
Yeah.
And it's an album that's sort of like every track about different things in different ways is trying, is like a young person trying to be able to say they are truly self-aware
Mhm.
when I don't think that's possible for
Mhm.
somebody to be completely objective about themselves and completely aware um, of every part of themselves, but
Mhm.
striving to stay in tune with yourself and keep yourself in check and be accountable for what you do and who you hurt, and but also, you know, stay accountable for what you create and what you bring to other people.
Mhm.
Um, that's like the overarching thing. But there's some songs that are more about like songwriting, like just being an artist and like
Mhm.
what, like, does this matter or
It's kind of
am
what
I
the opening track is about, right?
yeah, it's the kind of settings. It's like it's asking the opening track. Lead is talking about the whole record, like everything to follow is like how honest should I be and
Mhm.
how colorful should I be? How much metaphor should I use?
Mhm.
Like what in this pursuit of like this imaginary, intangible purity of reflection, like just like I said, just this how do you this pursuit of an imaginary, objective inventory of yourself
Mhm.
through songwriting.
Do you feel like, because a lot of the songs, which I love, they weave humor in and out of them, in and out of them.
Hmm.
Like Hands is a great one. I
Yeah,
forget the exact line, but um,
I like there's some jokes in there for
yeah,
sure.
there's lines where you like you throw it in, you're like,
Yeah,
okay, I don't take myself too
yeah,
seriously. But in a lot of ways, that's like your escape hatch to be vulnerable,
sure.
but not feel fully exposed.
Yeah,
And in some ways, you know, you could argue that Leads, is it called Leads?
a lead.
Lead.
which means grief in German.
Okay. Lead. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Doing great.
Uh, lead can act very similarly, right?
Mhm.
As an opening track to an album that I feel is very vulnerable
Mhm.
if you dig into it. It could act as like, I don't know how detailed, honest, or not I should be. So as a listener, if you're truly paying attention, you question the entire time of like how true is what
Yeah.
the vulnerable stuff he's saying. How is it? How true is it?
Yeah.
So like subconsciously or consciously, it could act again as that escape hatch of like, I'm going to say some vulnerable
Plausible
things,
deniability.
but you don't know if they're true or not.
Yeah. It ended up all being
Pretty true.
pretty true.
Pretty
But my
accurate.
kind of like my counterweight to that is like when I do talk about, there's some things that are just like really that are very sensitive
Yeah.
that I left kind of, but like politeness in particular, 2 dozen as well, are about like very, very specific things.
Mm-hmm.
Like hands is not about a specific moment in time. That's just
Yeah.
like a headspace.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, like I don't think I would ever like dish it out, and not for the like fucking Tarantino reason of like you gotta leave it up to interpretation.
Yeah.
That's what art's all about. I don't like that at
Yeah.
all. I love that it's up for interpretation, but I don't like the thought that like you have to leave it open ended, otherwise it's not as good. Like if you don't make art that everybody can make their own, then you have failed the people who are going to consume your art. I think that is bullshit. I think you can create exactly what you want, and if you are effective at designing the world that people are going to listen to, within a certain threshold, people will get what you're trying to do.
Oh, for sure. I mean, Olivia Rodrigo's last album is very much like that.
Yeah. I mean, she's talked about that a little bit in a couple of interviews too, about like, I want a certain degree of certainty that people will understand what I want to talk about.
Yeah.
But so to backtrack, that's not why I want to omit the real life events that happen. It's just some stuff is just too graphic, I guess, or too raw,
Yeah.
that it doesn't need to be in the song or discussed,
Yeah.
because the raw feeling does fuel the track, I think.
Yeah, the graphic details aren't relevant to the core narrative.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, just out of my own
Yeah.
curiosity, what is Look at Us Dancing about?
Well, Look at Us Dancing is kind of about just looking in on a marriage as a child, and then looking in on a marriage as an adult, and like kind of, I don't know, just the interweavings of falling in and out of love and being a parent, and like yeah, again with that like finger pointing thing where like you're just so caught up, in your
Yeah.
life as a parent, sometimes in your own dramas, that you get yourself into situations of hypocrisy, or just you're just blind to the consequences of your actions on a family. I think that's true for almost every parent, though, to some extent.
Yeah. I mean, parenting's hard.
Yeah. Especially, I mean, my parents were pretty young. They're 21 and 22 when they had me.
Wow.
And yeah, I can't imagine having a kid right now.
Yeah.
So it definitely gives perspective of like a lot of the angst that is fueling the record with familial dynamics. Is like, well, how are they supposed to know what to do?
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
do you have a good relationship with your parents?
I do now.
After the record,
Yeah.
have they? I'm assuming they've heard the record.
Yeah, they have not said anything. I don't think they read the lyrics.
Ugh.
But I mean, I never really put anything in there that was like, um,
I mean,
revealing or scandalous or something with them.
I
But
mean, my interpretation of "Look at Us Dancing" is like,
I mean, that one actually isn't really particularly about my parents.
oh, okay,
I mean, there's definitely inspiration of watching that, but
yeah,
I saw many close family units fall apart in different ways.
gotcha.
Who were like family friends, and some of them were repaired, but it's I think the line that sums up that song for me. Well, okay, let me actually backtrack with that song. And I won't keep rambling about it too much, but
I keep bringing it up, so
it's more about like, it's not about really like me. If it was my parents, for instance, it's not about me and my parents. It's more about like my mom and my dad,
yeah, yeah, for sure,
with me as an afterthought, kind of in the peripheral of the song. But it's
yeah,
like watching them, like somebody in a partnership wants to be somebody else,
yeah,
but because of the marriage and the kids or what have you, or just life circumstance, they can't be that person.
yeah,
And that creating division.
yeah,
um but that like loss of agency, and like mourning a death of a person that they wish they could have been,
mm,
then distracting them from
mm,
being in love and distracting them from being a good parent, and
gotcha. That
it's
totally changes the song for me.
but that's just an aspect. I mean, like
No,
through
I
the
know, I
through the you hear the different sections explode, but like
mm,
it it was inspired for me because like there was a moment where I watched uh video from my parents' wedding,
mm,
which is the whole like look at us dancing, and
mm,
that part is like, oh, that was them when they were in their 20s.
mm,
You know,
mm,
it's just an interesting perspective
yeah,
that kind of recontextualizes a lot of anger.
mm,
When you're 14,
yeah,
be like, oh, that was them 6 years away from where I am now.
yeah. They had literally no
Yeah,
idea what they were
yeah.
doing.
But like I said, there is like at least four fully different trains of thought in that
Yeah,
song.
gotcha.
They kind of like in the explosive section, it's talking about something completely different
Mm,
than it is at the beginning. And yeah, I don't know,
wow.
but
Okay.
it's a family song.
It's a family
It's
song.
a family song.
So there's a line that occurs twice.
Hmm.
I'm sure you already know what it is, but I'm falling in love with the part where I walk away.
Yeah.
Happens in hands and impatience. Was that
Yeah.
intentional? And what's the
I
connection?
just love that line. I just think it's summed up patience as well, as a concept, is unrelenting patience in lead, and patience itself as the song. Those are like the two concepts that were like kind of at the heart of all these different things I was thinking about. It's like escaping is becoming so attractive daily in every single way
Hmm.
that I'm catching myself falling in love with running away. Or my favorite part of the day, or the month, is when I get to retreat.
Mm,
Um, and it's sort of like, yeah, I'm catching myself falling in love with something that's bad for me.
mm,
Um, and to get through that, just like try and have faith and have patience. Unrelenting patience is a really interesting idea to me that kind of goes hand in hand. It's like the only way that you are supposed to diffuse that feeling of I need to escape is by having some degree of faith, blind faith that it will get better.
mm,
And that is scary and really hard,
mm.
especially because I'm not religious, and so that I don't have that sort of I don't have really any kind of belief that I can lean on at this stage
Yeah,
to get through those things. So it has to be like faith in family, and faith in yourself, and faith in your friends, and
yeah. I thought about this a lot recently.
yeah.
Yeah, because so I had this conversation with a friend where he was like, we're two ships passing in the night. And I said, I'm not a ship, I'm a lighthouse. Like I'm always there with my light on
Hmm.
for when people feel like they're ready to come to shore.
Yeah.
And I said that because I've had a lot of experiences in my life where, because I was providing grace and I had the patience for somebody to, I don't know, find themselves, learn more about themselves, come to a place where they could have a conversation or
Yeah.
whatever, it led to really positive relationships
Yeah.
with my parents, with my husband, with
Hmm.
friends. And so I hold this position where it's like, that has served me so well that I'll remain a lighthouse
Yeah.
because I see the value in that patience and that grace.
Hmm.
This friend and I aren't talking anymore. And at some point, I guess I'm just in this place where I'm like, at some point, is being a lighthouse toxic?
Yeah.
And should you not have patience?
Well, I think that, I mean, that's the entire question of, I mean, even religion too, is like, at what point is being the bigger person not healthy,
Yeah.
you know? And it's hard because fruitful and healthy are two different things.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not always fruitful to be patient
Mm.
and be and let the water flow off your back. But it's usually, there's a difference also between being like a, and this is something I grapple with all the time, is like being a pushover
Yeah.
and being steadfast in your output into the
Mm.
world.
Mm.
Um, but that's the other side of the falling in love with the part where I walk away,
Mm.
shedding, it kind of like throwing reckless abandon and being like, hey, parent, friend, lover, whatever, like I am not going to participate in this situation under your terms anymore.
Mm.
Which, sorry to double back to that,
No, go
but
ahead.
in each of the songs, they mean both sides. So hands
You're
is,
finally answering the question,
yeah,
actually.
yeah. Hands is walking away in the escapism sense,
Hmm.
and patience is discussing it in the like, it actually feels pretty liberating to say no,
Mm.
you know,
Mm.
while still being loving and reflective and respectful and, you know,
Hmm.
answer to your question.
Was it intentional? Did you go in saying, I'm going to put this in both, or it just felt right?
I did it on accident actually when I was doing the vocal take.
Nice.
I sang it again.
And you're
And I
like,
was like,
it works.
I mean, they're the same melody too, right? And I'm falling in love with the part where I walk. No, they're not. I'm falling in love with the part where I walk away. Similar. I
Mm.
guess they're not the same, but
Yeah. So
yeah.
it's fine.
Yeah, but it was an accident, and then I was like, oh, that is awesome.
Yeah.
Because I wrote them consecutively too.
Oh, really?
So I did hands, and then took like a dinner break after a couple days, and then did patience,
Mm.
and uh, and then did another dinner break and did most of heaven. Um, yeah, those
Oh,
songs are
heaven.
all
Right.
those songs are,
Oh,
yeah.
that's
So I'm
actually my
using
next
the
question.
set list name.
That's my next question. If this is your heaven, then you'll let it fade. What does that mean?
Yeah. Um. Well, that's a big one.
I mean, because it's like an oxymoron, right? Like
Yeah.
you don't want your heaven to fade.
Yeah. Oh man, wait. Let me think of the rest of the lines in that part. So, this is your heaven, and you'll let it shine. If you really are the one, then you'll love it. If it's really happening, then it's happening. This is your heaven. Oh yeah. Okay. So, I mean, this is one that I don't. It means a lot of things to me, but I guess in the broadest sense, it's like trusting that it will like come back.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like
Mm.
holding on to like if this is, you could replace it with like, if this is true love,
Yeah.
then you'll let somebody who doesn't want to be with you walk away.
Right. Right. Right.
And I think the way that most of that song is talking about is like, if this is what you need and where you belong, then of course you're just gonna let it slip through your fingers.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, if this is exactly what you need, then of course you won't take it.
Because you're self-sabotaging.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's both of those things at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And that song is kind of um, flip-flopping all the time. And half of it's like just really tongue-in-cheek about self-sabotage. Like that whole like dance party part right before that. It's like, move, baby, and all that. Get out of your own way. You know, it's just kind of bouncing around. Also, it's, you know, like I said, I'm not religious, and so I think this concept of like people have inflated heaven into something that's like unattainable. And so like if you were to actually attain it, then you wouldn't know it and you would miss it.
Yeah.
You know. So I think it's kind of those three loosely related themes for me. What did you think it was?
I didn't dive into that song that much,
Yeah,
to be
fuck that
honest.
song.
No, not
No, I'm just kidding.
not fuck that song.
No.
I just dive into it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a great explanation. I mean, I think, you know, the last song that I favorited was the last song of the album. I think just because I didn't know how to sit with it.
Yeah.
But it feels like you, I don't know, in some ways it feels like you came to some sort of resolve about a situation.
Yeah.
But then also that resolve puts you into this negative position.
Yeah.
In a way where it's like you're accepting someone else's perspective of you, even if you don't actually agree with that perspective. You're just like,
dude, that's fucking. I'm so glad you got that. That makes me really happy.
I mean, why else would you call yourself a pig?
Yeah.
You're like, if this is what you need me to be, I'll be that.
Yeah. It's yeah. That's a. I don't know how to discuss this one. Because that's the most graphic one.
Oh
It's
yeah.
it's well, okay, I'll leave it at this. So like anybody who's, you know, been in sort of a coerced power dynamic, I think at some point hits that like it's my fault, you choose sort of defeatist headspace. Which, you know, I put it at the end of the album because that moment where I felt that way really was kind of when I shut down reflective endeavors, like trying to get better and understand myself more and understand my friends and family more, and until I started making the record. And it was like a almost 2-year period of like just kind of cold. So in a way, like that's where I started with lead. So it kind of, for me, moves in. That's like the inciting incident of some repression for me.
I mean, that makes leads more interesting.
Yeah.
Right, because you're almost grieving this dynamic pride, ego. I don't know. I'm sure you could dive into it a variety of ways, but it makes the album circular in a way.
Yeah, I mean, especially with that length, I think that was something that we really wanted to do, was have sort of a repeated lyrical themes, and it could move in a circle, both like just musically, just how it like feels, like ending with the piano motif, and then having the overture come back in is a nice flow. So, yeah.
Is there anything about the album that you wanted to talk about that we haven't?
Oh man, I don't know.
The answer could be no, but I just like.
I mean, I feel like you've been great. I don't know. You've asked a whole bunch of really thought-provoking and exciting questions that led us down. I mean, honestly, a lot of things that I've wanted to talk about with somebody that hasn't come up before. So I thought you did great.
Thank you. It's one of my favorite albums this year,
That's fucking awesome.
and maybe it's really fucking good. And it's definitely going into my top 50 favorite albums of all time.
That's killer.
100%.
That's amazing, dude.
And again, who the fuck am I? But um, if that isn't true in a year, I'll let you know. But right
Please do
now,
call me immediately and say it's left the top 50 of
it's
all
top
time.
51. I mean,
I'm deleting your number. It's
I think
over.
it's visceral, and I love music that is visceral. It makes you feel something. And there's only one or two spots I'm like, I wish you would have done something differently.
Will you tell me?
Yeah, I'll tell you.
Oh, fuck yeah. I'm so excited.
Okay, here's the thing. Um, so again, I really love the album. So I'm not
You've
saying you
said
should
it
change
so
it.
much. I believe you.
I think in 2 dozen
Uh-huh.
rhododendrons, the tension, you do a really good job building tension and release.
Mhm.
But the tension that you built with the strings wasn't actually ever released in this like big way. And
Yeah.
I feel like it was like big, and then you have these strings, and you're like, fuck,
Yeah.
this is about to get crazy. And I wanted that euphoria
Yeah.
from it coming back,
Yeah.
and just never happened.
That's fucking rad, actually.
And I'm like,
We had this discussion.
really?
This was a disagreement we had because I agree with you 100%. Um, so the subject matter of that song to me feels really unresolved and unsatisfying. So something we were trying to, I wanted the song to be a little, which you're the first person to tell me. So maybe other people feel this way, maybe not, but I wanted it to feel even like into the end, just like kind of like an ellipses, like it gets where it's supposed to go.
Then, if that's the case, then 100% this song executes on that.
But I also do kind of, I hate playing it live for that reason because it
You
never
could always
breaks
change
into
it.
that's what the band says. But I'm like, the song's the song, man. I'm moving
Change
now.
it.
Let's make a new song.
Nah, change it.
Maybe. But then I'm like, I
Try
don't
it
know
once.
how yet.
Try it. Just go back to just fucking go back to how big it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, if you're really, I mean, I'm into this shit, but if you're really into it, like we could listen to it. But I feel like you could just easily go back into
Yeah.
like this. I
Yeah.
don't know. Sorry.
I mean, no, dude, absolutely. I think that is awesome that you picked
Yeah.
up on that.
That's the primary one. I don't.
Wait, is there a secondary one though?
There probably is. I'll tell you.
Okay.
Yeah, if you're open to it. I love people that are open to conversations
I
about
think
their
it's
music.
awesome.
Yeah, I want to get better.
I wish
Like
people would
tell me.
tell me anything.
Yeah, they're like, "Oh, it's so good." I'm like, "No, it's not. Tell me the truth. What would you change?" Yeah.
Yeah. I always think that's fascinating. And I don't know. I got the impression even from first talking to you that just you have a level of intention and focus and perception. And now that, I mean, even with all of this, just like in a multimedia way, not just in music, that I don't know. I value your opinion.
Tell that to the friend that doesn't talk to me anymore.
Okay. Just send me an address.
I will. No, just kidding. Last question.
Okay.
It's always the same.
I think I know what it is.
I love giving flowers to people,
Yeah.
as you know. Who do you feel like you want to give flowers to?
Just in a open-ended cosmic sense to anyone in the world, or like in like reference to the record.
Anyone.
Okay, I'll do both then.
Yeah.
I mentioned him earlier, but well, both of them, Nathan Smurthwaite and Chris Olsen, I think were the two people that I when I was impressionable and young, I saw them doing something that I wanted to do, and they made it look beautiful and exciting and impactful. And they're still doing it, and yeah, they were just very, very inspiring to me. And in a record sense, two people, Alan Jones,
Hmm.
who is also in Bremerton. He's a mastering
Oh,
engineer,
that's why I know that name
and
because he mastered your project.
yes, and he hit me up out of nowhere, saying he liked one of our old music videos and was like, let's get a coffee, let's get a beer or something. And from the moment I met him, was just so warm. And without him, the record would sound horrible because when I can't believe I forgot to bring this up earlier.
Still got
But
some.
I had the mixing done for a really long time,
Hmm.
and those cleanup tweaks that I did were all at his behest. Like
Mm.
I brought him the project, and he was like, "You don't mix with a sub, do you?" I was like, "I
Mm.
didn't know you're supposed to do that." So he had a sub, told me what sub to buy. I bought it.
Which one?
I just got the matching Yamaha
Okay. Yep.
HS8
Yep.
sub that
Hmm.
went with my. So I have HS80 monitors. And he helped me give tips for tuning my room. And yeah, modern analog would not have been effective. Like listening to it in his room with the mixes I did, I was like, holy God, there's
Okay.
so much sub that I couldn't
Oh,
hear.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And that changed like my whole trajectory with working with clients. And now he masters 80%, 90%
Hmm.
of the artists that I produce.
Nice.
And we have a really wonderful working relationship now. And he's introduced me to some bands that I just adore. In particular, Key Party, that's from
Hmm.
our area across the water as well. Just ferocious weirdo art punk people that I just am in love with them. Um, yeah, so both just from a career standpoint and from the record standpoint, like without and he's just a beautiful human being, and he's going to be at the session tomorrow, and I'm so excited to see him. Yeah, he really saved the album, and in a managerial putting the album in the world way, the other person who did a very similar thing is his name is Zach. He runs Pegasus Theory,
Oh, okay.
which is a label that me, Patrick, and Zach had been talking about starting together, and then I think we were discussing like, well, what can we bring to the table? And Zach was like, I can do such and such dollars, and me and Pat were like, we're broke, we can't do anything. And so Zach was like, okay, maybe it makes more sense for me to manage it, and it essentially
Wow.
he jumped the gun to make the label because of the album,
Hmm.
among other things. But I
I
think
can
the
see why.
timing was like, I'm gonna sign you guys. We're gonna put this out on
Hmm.
vinyl.
Hmm.
I'm gonna get it in people's hands, and yeah, he is incredible. We're on the phone almost every single day. He is a collaborator in the truest sense. Like he helps me with everything. I've always been so fiercely controlling on every part of the band and its interaction with the world, with photos or Instagram or music videos or booking shows. And he's just transformed everything for us. We started working with him in September, and since then, I mean, everything has changed because he works so hard,
Hmm.
and we really, really feel the love from him in terms of the record and the band. And he came all the way from Portland to buy to Seattle yesterday, staying in Seattle. I'm probably going to go get dinner with him after this, and then
Cool.
he's coming to the session tomorrow. And yeah, he's wonderful. And he's the singer of Combo Box,
Mm.
which is
That band.
one of my favorite
Yeah.
bands. And they're on the label too, which is productive, I think. It makes sense for him to put his band in there. But it's also awesome. I mean, the label roster right now is my two bands and his band. And he put out a video game, Gravity Cannon. Gravity Cannon. Designed by Ty from the guitarist from Combo Box.
Okay.
It's like a cool multiplayer space physics game thing.
Cool.
It's actually really cool.
Okay.
I saw some of the demo gameplay. I was like, this is awesome. Yeah.
Dope.
That good? Did I give
Yeah.
flowers good?
You did. Yeah.
Okay.
Very well.
Yes.
Well, thanks for sitting with me.
Yeah. I never looked at this camera a single time until this.
I know. There it is. Hopefully it's still on.
Dude, thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course.
This is it's really, really wonderful to know that you like the record as much as you do, and that
I loved it.
you seemed like you dived into it, and that makes me really happy because
That's what I'm supposed to do.
I mean, as we talked about earlier, I really did want to make something that like did kind of demand focus
Hmm.
and like was something that you could chew on. So it's really, I think, besides when Zach wanted to put the record out, you are probably the person who has dictated that process for yourself more than anybody else. So it's really cool to hear your experience.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for putting it out.
Yeah,
Don't change a damn thing.
except
Oh, except
she doesn't.
no, don't even change that.
I will.
I mean, because narratively, it made sense for the song.
Yeah.
Like
But
my
I mean,
desires for that euphoria, knowing the meaning of the song now, I would have made the same decision.
mhm.
But I didn't know the meaning. So
Yeah.
for me, it was like, oh, you could have went here. And it's
Yeah.
like, well, the song, in service of the song, it didn't call for that.
Yeah. But we can still change it
But you can.
for you.
Anyway, we're gonna.
Oh wait, do I do it with you?
Yeah.
Okay.